Pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes of the April 14th Township Board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as provided.
Been moved, supported that the minutes of the April 14th Township Board meeting be accepted, placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? You've received your treasurer's report. What's your wishes?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented, placed on file.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved, supported that the treasurer's report be accepted, placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. No opposed? You've received the approved April 21st Planning Commission meeting minutes. Place them on file. Any questions for anyone on those minutes? And there was no appeal, is that correct, Al?
That's correct.
You have correspondence in your packets. One being the power plant grant that we'll address later. Anyone with anything to bring before the board? I'm sorry.
The other one was the proposal on Olson Road from County Road Commission. Is that on the agenda?
No. So we can discuss it. Sure. We'll discuss that under new business, if it's all right with you, Jack?
Sure.
Anyone with anything to bring before the board? John?
Yeah, I got two or three things. On Hill Road, is there any planning of this year doing any tar and chipping or anything on that road? Because it's starting to come apart. I mean, there's cracks in that road that are 3/4 of an inch wide.
Good time to ask.
Which road?
Hill Road. Hill Road, yep.
I don't think we have any plans on that.
Of course, he's
I mean, if there was some patching required, routine maintenance, we can
I
do
don't
that.
think
but-
patching will take care of it, because
Yeah.
you got cracks, that whole hill is cracking. I mean, it's opening up and, chunks are moving off to the side.
Yeah, I mean, it's local road generally, it would be a cost share with the townships.
Is this a chip seal year, Mark? I guess is what he's asking. Is this a chip seal year?
Well, we are doing some chip seal, but it's basically, based on township requests.
Yes, we didn't.
Yeah, we're not doing like a bunch of countywide on the local road system. So that's why, I've given you the Olson Road
Okay.
proposal
Okay.
for that, but, Hill Road's not on the agenda.
What was it, like 17, 18 miles you're chip sealing this year?
Depends on what I get signed up with townships. I know Neckman's doing a little less than what they planned.
You have right offhand what it is a mile?
It depends on the condition. I mean, if it's generally just strictly chip seal with a fog seal, it could be, 25,000 or so a mile. I'd have to, we generally look at it, and I think Hill Road's probably, wider pavement, so, I mean, if you want us to do an estimate on it, we can do that. That's what we do on a job-by-job basis. We'll look at it, measure it, and then basically estimate.
Well, I think that would be a real good idea, rather than just say, yeah, let's go do it, because somebody that knows what they're doing can tell you, because it's starting to crack, and I'd hate to see it come apart and have potholes in it, because that road gets traveled by a lot of heavy trucks, and cars come down that hill 70, 80 mile an hour every day. And I'm not saying slow them down, because one of these days they're gonna hit a deer and end up in my backyard, so what?
The deer, car, or both? The
What's
deer
that?
or the car, or both?
Probably both, and it might be 2 or 3 deer, because they cross that road. It's funny, we haven't had a couple motorcycle people dead on that road, because they go up through there just flying. I mean, not 70, 80, they run up through there sometimes 100 mile an hour on a motorcycle.
You want
They
to
hit a deer. And there's the guy lives on top of the hill, and I've tried to talk to him and he won't listen. But beside the point, the next question on that, on the lines down here right at 31, is there any way we can get lines on that road? Because they'll come down through there and they'll park crosswise on Hill Road to get out onto 31. And you absolutely positively cannot even get on the Hill Road from the highway, especially coming from town, because they got the whole corner blocked off. If you went on the wrong side of them,
Directional lanes, is that road
Yeah.
wide enough for a directional lane?
well, they've had them there before.
Did it?
Yeah.
You mean on Hill Road
Yeah.
itself?
Right at the
At
intersection.
31.
We'd have to take a look right at 31.
Yep.
We'd have to take a look and see how wide it is.
Well,
You know,
there's-
generally, if you're talking about it to put in like a center turn lane or something?
No.
No,
Okay.
no, just to have directional left turn and right turn
And straight-
designated
and a
areas
straight
for
through.
left turn, right turn on Hill Road.
On Hill Road.
And maybe a straight through, because they'll come in that middle lane and head towards town. I mean, there's room that you can get alongside them. I've done that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I think that is a two-lane road,
Yeah.
intersection.
Yeah.
Well,
So whether you are turning right or left, if you're headed south, you wait for the car to make the left-hand turn ahead of you before you can go right.
When they put that Wesco in there years ago, and they didn't have the corner set up the way they got it now, where you could come in off there was 3 lanes there. I'm gonna tell you for an honest. There was 3 lanes.
Well, it might
If you
be-
put 3 lanes in there, I don't care. But we ought to do something to keep them in the lane to where other cars can go the opposite direction.
We could ask Mark's crew to take a look at it, if the road is wide enough to do that.
Yeah, we can look to see if the road is wide enough at 31. I
Yep.
mean, that's the key thing for you to generally mark it for like 3 lanes.
Yep.
You know, it has to be probably at least 33 feet wide.
Can you do that for us?
We can look at it, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll-
because
we'll
headed
keep
into
him-
town or westbound, and if you will, off of Hill Road, you could probably move 3, 4, 5 cars that direction while one is trying to make a
Absolutely.
left-hand turn.
That's why I suggested the 3 lane, whatever you legally can do without getting somebody in trouble. And the last thing on Hill Road is the little store there, the swap shop. And I really feel sorry for the guy, because I've been in there probably 15 times since they opened that. And they'll get a vehicle in there, and usually it's a big van. The other day, there was a Chevrolet van pulled in there, and he was parked right at the curb with the driver's door. He was inside talking. I come down Hill Road and couldn't see up the highway, so I backed up a little bit, and I seen a pickup coming. Okay, and there was nothing coming prior to him that I could see, so I pulled out, and there was nothing coming. And when I got out on the 31 broadside, there was a car, or a pickup truck, a big white Dodge pickup truck, came out of the bank, kitty corner right across the street, and that van, he about got me broadside, and went right around Wesco and went right back inside to that little store and asked him, I said, is there anything you can do with this to keep this traffic to where we can see? Because I've called the road commission, I've called the state police, I've called the sheriff's department, I've called everybody I can call to get some kind of control over that. But that poor guy, if he puts anything in there to keep the traffic so you can see, he isn't gonna be able to use that front parking lot. You can't put a curb system in there because you haven't got room to back out and pull out. I mean, I don't know what to say
So
about
the
it.
vehicles are too close to the right of way, is what you're saying?
Well, they're sitting in the right of way, and you can't see up 31.
Can't see.
It's totally blind.
And if it, yeah.
Now, if I'm in the semi, that's a different story, because I can see just about over anything, but in a car or pickup, you're playing with your life there. I about got it the
can
other day.
send MDOT an email and have them take a look at it, because they obviously have jurisdiction on 31, so if there's a
Clear
parking issue there, you know, as far as clear vision at an intersection, people parking on the road right away.
But the guy-
Deal with it,
If you do that for us, we appreciate it, Mark.
sure.
Every time I've stopped there, that guy's been just very cordial, very good about it, but he says, what do I do? He says, this guy's parked here before I got here. And I hate like heck to make him lose a parking spot, but it's better than somebody getting killed. Okay,
Yeah,
the last thing I got.
okay.
I don't know if it's new, old, or what it is. I think it's old business, but I'll bring it up. I haven't had problem with the garbage people in years. In this last 7, 8, 10 months, I've probably called them 5 or 6 times. I rarely get a call back from them. I had garbage out last fall over on Pine Creek, where my yard's at. I changed oil in the vehicle and the air filters and took them out in a box, put them out alongside the road with a bag of papers and stuff that I had there. And they left them 3 weeks in a row. And snow came and I went and plowed the driveway out so that they could see them. You know, I plowed the whole area there so that they could see them sitting in the middle of that driveway. And they didn't do her again. The next day we got snow and the county comes through and put them into the ditch. No problem with them. I mean, I can't help it because they plowed them in the ditch. But I called the garbage people again and they said, well, where's this at? I says, I tell you where it's at. I said, I've called you 4 or 5 times. You picked it up 2 or 3 times over there. I says, I put it out about 3 times a year. Hey, well, you know, if we don't know it's there, we can't pick it up. I says, ma'am, I said, I plowed the whole area out the last time, and I set them in the middle of the driveway, and they didn't get it. And I says, there's garbage across the street, and, you know, there isn't any more till you get clear down to the corner.
When was the last time you had trouble with this? Was it recent?
With that out there, I haven't had a problem with, because I haven't been working out there that much, okay? We've been, you know, I'm down.
Well, John, we had some trouble with the garbage people, and we had a couple
still got
meetings with them, and we thought we had most of them resolved, but we were using them. An abridged version of what we had was we had a lot of, they were taking more than they were contracted to do.
In some cases.
Yeah, and so we talked to them about it, asked them to stick to the contract, and what we would do is we would handle the circumstances one at a time. And we had several, but we got most of them taken care of. Obviously, we don't have yours taken care of. But then we went the pendulum swung the other way. Then they were taking 2 bags.
Yep.
Not 2 32-gallon containers, they were taking 2 bags. Whether they be 13-gallon bags, 30-gallon bags,
One
they were
gallon.
taking 2 bags.
Yep, that's it.
So, and now I think we've got the thing on top dead center. Obviously, we don't have it taken care of at your place, but most places we've got it taken care of. And we'll bring it to their attention, and it would be they've been very, very congenial to us, but, we'll mention it to them.
Next time, if we get
What's
into
the
it.
address?
15160, they know where I'm at. They know very well where I'm at, because I helped their dad get this garbage business, and he isn't in it anymore. He's got some sickness.
1561 Hill?
1516. But the other day I called, you know, and I took 3 calls. I had a dustpan full and a half of sawdust that I'd been working in the basement for Taylor, cutting some boards for one of her college projects. And I was down there, I thought, well, I'll just pick this up. So I cleaned it up, put it in the garbage can, and took it out, put it on top of the garbage. Set it out at the road. And I was watching them, because I'd had 2 or 3 times when they won't pick my garbage up. They'll pick up 2 bags, but not 3. And I don't care if they're just small ones, they'll pick 2, not 3. So I said to myself, I'll put a 30-gallon out there, and I'll put bags in there till it's full, and I'll set one on the side of that. And that's what I did. That's what I did the other day here. But the week before that, they wouldn't take that sawdust. Well, I caught him out in the window, and I says, hey, just throw that in there. I says, it's garbage. Oh, yeah, but this is household. I said, that's what it is, that's household. Well, you know, I've been doing some sawing for my granddaughter, you know. And if that ain't household, I don't know what is. But anyway, they finally took it. And so I called down there to, you know, see what I had to do to get in compliance with them. And she says, well, that's household garbage. I says, well, okay. You telling me that all you do is pick up household garbage? That's what I'm telling you. I says, well, I don't think so. Yes, I'm telling you household garbage only. I says, well, I'm telling you that they pick up in more places than household. No, you don't. No, we don't. No. Well, I don't know what they do with these 2 state farm offices over here, but if they pick them up and somebody else hauls it or what, I don't know. And in Manistee Welding, there's no household there. I mean, I took a ride around the township. And 90% of these people have got 1 and 2 bags out and they're real small.
I have 2. I didn't retire for PCE and follow garbage trucks, but I did.
You go past Charlie High-Peckas, there's one place over there that's got 2 containers out. One's on wheels and one's a garbage bag alongside of it. And I can show you every one of them had just little teeny bags.
John, I'll call them, and I think we can resolve this and get it taken care of.
Tell me what I gotta do. Because she told me that they only took the bags out of the containers. I've seen them dump containers. I've seen them the other day dumping containers.
We're supposed to take.
So all I want to know is what the hell I got to do so I can do it, and so my wife isn't hollering at me. Because I either get hollered at on the phone by them, or I get hollered at by my wife, and I'm tired of both of them.
And that'll solve that problem?
For me it will, because I said, I can't do for you, you do it yourself. You know?
We'll call.
What do I do then? Tell me what I got to do.
All right, we'll call them and I'll get in touch with you.
Okay. And then, is there any possibility, when does that contract come back up? For garbage?
17, isn't it?
Next year.
Is there any way I can get a copy of those, that information on that when you get done? I'm sure you make some changes. When you get that done, can I get a copy of it so I can,
For the contract?
yeah.
Sure.
Well, I'm after to see what we can put out, when we can put it out, what we can't put out.
Sure enough.
Okay, and then with my shop in the backyard, running a small business out of there with one truck and myself, what do I do with them oil cans and stuff that I get out of there? If I gotta bury them out and back, or will have garbage people take them? Figure that out, let me know.
I don't think they'll take them. And I don't know what you're gonna do.
Somebody's gotta tell me what I can do with them.
Oil cans can go, if you're talking like a drum farm, they go back to your distributor.
Yeah, but I don't buy everything in drum form. I mean, brake fluid, I've had one can of brake fluid around there for 10 years, and it's still about half full, but I'm talking like, small cans of oil cans that are,
Okay, I'll give you a copy of the contract, then we can try and figure out what you're gonna do.
let me know.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am?
I would talk to you at the last board meeting about the resolution for the Bar Lake Improvement Board.
Yep,
Were you able to find out anything on that from your lawyer?
yep. Oh, yes, we spent a considerable amount, the guy and I spent a considerable amount of time with the attorney. The Bar Lake Improvement Board is limited to the authorization to provide for control of invasive aquatic species as set forth in the 2012 resolution establishing the Bar Lake Board. Bar Lake Board is not empowered to undertake other types of projects which may be permitted under Part 309.
So when we have our Bar Lake Improvement Board meetings, it is only about invasive weeds and that's it. No lily pads,
No, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
but
I'm
they
just telling
can't
you
do
what,
anything. Is that what you're?
that's
I
the
just wanna-
interpretation given to us by the attorney.
Okay, that's just what I want to nail down. What can the board do and can't do? They can only do invasive weeds. They can't do anything about lake level, they can't do anything about watershed, lily pads, whatever.
That's our attorney's opinion.
That they cannot do
They
those.
cannot do anything other than treat or control invasive species.
Okay, thank you very much.
Remember about 30 years ago, they put a dam in over there in Bar Lake. And people
Probably longer ago than that.
pretty near went to jail over it.
Pardon me?
They pretty near went to jail over that.
I got a question pertaining to Bar Lake. You said mentioned a considerable amount of time
Okay.
with an attorney. Who's paying that attorney bill, the township or the Bar Lake Improvement Board?
We have this time, or we will this time. But if they have any other further questions, they're gonna have to retain their own attorney.
Okay.
It's on the list. I called and requested the property line but they haven't had time to put it in yet. I'm sure that's one of your questions.
It is, but the one post is there. The pastor that was there before, he took it out and put up that birdhouse. He's got a birdhouse and he took your metal pole and it disappeared someplace, I don't know where, just like Hanson's did down the road. But it's on the other side of the fence. She's got two fences up. Neither one of them are on her property.
Who are you talking about?
Sarah Tucker.
Okay.
And then, I gotta find out from you, down on Lake Shore Road, it's where it goes into the South Pier. That's a public access. It's Crescent Beach in Lake Shore, correct? Now this guy put all this concrete in there that owns the house next to it, but he put a sign up, it says, no cars can go down that public access. What's the deal on that?
I don't know where you're talking.
That's Onekama Township probably, if you're off of Crescent Beach up there.
Yeah.
It's Manistee side.
There is no Manistee
There is no
side there.
Manistee side.
On the South Pier?
No, that's Onekama Township.
Oh, is that right? Because I couldn't figure it out.
There's one public parking spot there, and then you can park the car and walk out and go down the sidewalk to get out there.
Right, that's Onekama's?
Yep.
Oh, way up there? Yeah.
Yeah.
South Pier is Onekama.
South Pier. But it comes in from Lake Shore. It's
Yes.
Lake Shore and Crescent.
Crescent Beach, yes.
Manistee Township is about the top of the hill north of Gisler's Corners.
Okay. So we have to go to Onekama and find out what this guy is doing, because he's telling people he can't go
That'll give
down.
you something to do.
They meet the first Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m. First Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m.
Yeah, because they can't, they don't have the right to block people from driving down public access, do they? Even in Onekama Township?
You'll have to ask for that.
Manistee doesn't do it, but the other thing was his Knapp's building his house, which is fine. He's adding on to build a big monster down there, just a couple down from us. And the whole front is full of dirt and heavy
The access
equipment.
site?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that'll be cleaned up when he's done with it. It was all done in the spring of the year when really the access site wasn't being used, we saw no harm in it.
yeah, okay, as long as you get permission to do it,
Yeah, he'll clean it.
that's a good thing. But I got more stuff for you later, Jim. You know it's never gonna change.
Anyone else? If not, we'll move on. County Commissioner Jeff?
All right, very briefly, Russ Pomeroy, our county treasurer, gave us his monthly report. The forfeiture list is going to be 25 to 26 parcels. There's some little ambiguity because of one of them may be coming off the delinquent tax rolls. The delinquent taxes increased $14,700 from last year for a total of $2,800,000 and basically $36,000. The auction will be held at August 18th at the Little River Casino at noon, and that is very well attended from what I'm told. So get there early if you have any interest in going.
What is the auction for, Jeff?
Delinquent taxes,
Oh,
so foreclosures, forfeitures, what have you. We passed a resolution for the equalization report that's done annually. Roger Elvers gave us the report. 78.81% of the property in the county is residential, 2.83 is ag, 7.54 is commercial, and personal property is 6.79. And if we get the reimbursement from the state, for the personal property that they've redone, that we're supposed to see an increase of 0.72 in the taxes for this year, for a total SEV of $1,360,000,000, or taxable value of $1,089,000,000. Judge Thompson's been doing a lot of creative things up in the circuit court, and he is the chief judge of the court also, of all of them here for Manistee and Benzie. But Cameron Clark came before us, the youth services director, and they're going down some new roads. And I tell you, Cameron is a very passionate man when it comes to dealing with the youth. So they got the right guy in the job. County Planning Commission has become the Brownfield Authority, which made something that probably should have been done quite a while ago. It was a very logical fit, and we had no problem doing that. So we've got a Brownfield Authority in place, and they meet monthly. So if anything comes up, they can take care of it quite promptly. Basically, I think that's probably about it, if anything to know. Munson West Shore affiliation is moving forward. We had a meeting on it yesterday and Wednesday. And not to get into any kind of great details, but they're hoping that we can sign off on a final version in July. West Shore is working with Munson. We gave them a counter offer yesterday, so we'll wait and see what happens with that. And when we get a little closer to the end, hopefully divulge all the nitty-gritty details. What we're trying to do is maintain an ambulance service in the county, and I can tell you we basically got an agreement on that. I don't see that changing. So the big concern for us as the county commission is not to see millage come across for everybody to support the ambulance service. And this is rare for any county not to have that, because a lot of the times the townships have the ambulance service also. So we're quite fortunate with that. Nothing is happening with the county as far as the armory either. We're not involved in that. MAPS may be with the 12th Street project, but that's information I've got. I don't know how solid that is at the moment, but that's my understanding. That's all I've got.
Any questions for Jeff? Thank you, sir. Zoning administrator?
Had no complaints, 4 receipts, 3 fences, and somebody who wants to convert a accessory building to residential use. And then I did bump into somebody who was building without a permit, and I sent them a nastygram a couple days ago. Haven't heard from them yet. That's about it in the zoning office.
Any questions for Guy? Thank you, sir. Chuck, anything going on across the street?
A little bit. The month of April, there was 24 activities, 3 fire-related, 15 medical, and 6 station trainings and meetings. 348 hours total for April. We did have that, you guys are aware, the 135R, the rescue we had in for intake manifold gasket and oil pan. It's running good now. The stations, I see the folks are out of there, finally got the wood out of there, so we are going to be hopefully moving forward more this summer with the training facility, so that won't be sitting like that here too much longer, hopefully. We applied for $1,500 revenue sharing money for some PPE. We're still waiting on the FEMA grant for SCBA's. That was about $105,000. We won't hear back on that until the summer. We have one person with a new application. The flashing amber lights on 31 there, so coming off the Hill Road, we can push a button. I haven't heard anything back on that for MDOT. You guys talked about the power plan, we're gonna reapply for that again, maybe the 3rd time's a charm. And I give a little brief thing on the ISO ratings last time. Basically, we ended up with a 5Y, but that out of 49,000 fire departments, we were rated in the top 19,000, and we were 3.5 points away from being in the top 10,000 of the folks that were rated, so that's pretty good. And all the folks from the fire department and everybody that worked on that did a great job. So your homeowner's insurance should go down, but you have to go check on it. It's just not gonna happen automatically.
So then the residents should, all the residents
Anybody in Manistee Township?
should tell them that your rating is,
A 5Y. The 5Y is anything out of the range of the 1,000 feet of the hydrant. So, but they changed the ratings around a little bit, but a 5, we were at a 6-9 classification. Now we're at a 5Y. So we have the capabilities of a 5. The problem with is the distance. So we can increase that. We have to work on a couple things, and then we have to flow so many gallons of water per minute for so long.
understand that, but the residents should
It would be
address their
correct.
homeowners
Yeah,
insurance.
they should go in and have it, check it out, just kind of like you do with everything else. Every now and then you go in and have it checked. It's just been so long since they did an ISO rating here. I think the last time was 95, so it's been quite a few years.
I got a question for that. Why don't you just make that blinking light a stop and go light?
Well, there's all kinds of things involved in that, so they've talked about that, and they really can't do that.
Chuck, I've seen these lights around that you're referring to. My question is, in the hospital, I don't know if they have or wanted a light out there for ambulances, okay? When the emergency vehicle has the sirens and the flashers going, how do those 2 intersections differ from any other intersection on roads anywhere?
Well, we have the same problem this gentleman does. When we go to pull out from Hill Road on a 31, you're nudging out there and they can't see you because the lights on the truck are more or less direction to the front, not the sides. So you do have some on the sides, and the newer trucks, it's part of the NFPA, they have the lighting on the sides, but we've actually added some on 135R because it goes all the time, so it flashes to the sides. But that gives it a little bit of extra warning time for those folks coming. They see that light flashing. It might work, it might not, but it's a $200 cost to us to help maybe slow somebody down when we're trying to come out of there, so. Because MDOT pays for the sign installation, we just have to pay for the connection in the station. And I've only seen those on West Shore working a couple of times, but usually we're going out of our station if they go somewhere or something.
Okay, I was just wondering because, I don't see the difference, but as you explained, the flashers are forward and
Right. And the sirens, and most people nowadays, they don't pull over for you anyway. Or sometimes the problem with lights and sirens is when someone sees it, it might not be the first person or the second person, maybe the third person, the fourth person doesn't see it and they try to go around, and so it's pretty dangerous stuff.
thank you.
And then we haven't received much rain lately. It's just been kind of teasing us with a little bit of moisture like today. I'm not sure how much we got, but not very much. So we follow the state recommendation for burning permits, and if they're not issuing burn permits, we don't. We just like to track it because that way we know who's burning and stuff, and we don't get all these calls. You'll hear on the radio all over the area, someone's illegally burning, so then the fire department's telling not to go out there. So we eliminate a lot of that by knowing who's burning and who's not burning. But hopefully we'll get some rain soon, but there's not much in the forecast coming, so.
Snow, Saturday.
Snow.
Yeah, well, yes. Cooler temperatures, and then with the cooler temperatures, they might, open up the burning.
That it?
Yep.
Anything for Chuck? If not, thanks Chuck, and again, please convey to the fellas, thanks for all the work that they do. Be safe. There's no significant changes on the liquor front. Jeff, you had a April 27th meeting of the Oaks Prison. Could you just give us a brief synopsis of that?
That's why I brought that. There it is.
Oh, okay.
It was, it's a lot more thorough than what I can give you. Nothing really eventful, but I thought I'd bring that to you since Claire hasn't been able to attend, and
Okay.
pass it on to the board.
You brought a synopsis of the meeting in writing, and we'll distribute that to everyone, and if there's questions, we can address them next month or something.
And you'll note that there should be a date there for the next meeting too, I believe. So you may want to appoint someone else also, if, for the township possibly. But I did see Claire this week. She's
Looking better.
quite remarkable
And
where she
here last
was.
night, wasn't she?
She was here last week.
Really doing well from where she was.
That's good. On the Cromer McGinnis drain, it's been advertised in the paper that on the 19th of this month from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., the drain commissioner will be here with the engineer to meet with people that have received or should have received letters in the drainage district. I would advise you to come down here and meet with him and find out if you in fact are in the district, plead your case, whatever. He should be able to tell you what your assessment will be at that time. So anyone that's received a letter or believe that they're in the district and has not received that letter, on the 19th, here at the hall on the other end, from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. he'll be here. He and the engineer. I've asked them for that information and I haven't gotten it, so that'd be a way to try and get it from them. Revenue Sharing Board meets here June 13th. That's the next meeting of the Revenue Sharing Board. And that'll be the grant awards for Cycle 1 2016. Any other reports? If not, we'll move on to unfinished business with the Onekama Township request. That request is referring to the request for money to help support the Jaws of Life unit. That request is relatively old and I'd like to see it dropped on the agenda. Evidently there's no interest because I've asked Mr. Meister to address us on that subject, and evidently it's not on the front burner, so. Anything else on their unfinished business? We'll go on to new business, a water agreement with the city of Manistee. Three members, Connie, John, and Guy, have worked very diligently with two attorneys to try and hammer this thing out and get it resolved so we can get it behind us. Are we ready to sign it?
I have one thing that I think needs to be nailed down there, because what we talked about, and when we're at the meetings and we're talking and you absorb everything that's said there, you take it as that's what it is, and then when you get the contract and you read it, sometimes it's like, because that's what you've heard so much, that's what you're reading, those words, and when you go back, it's really not what it says, because I think we read it and thought we were good, and today when we read it, we thought we weren't so good. So for tonight, I don't think we want to sign.
Okay, can we address the issues that are of concern
Yeah,
immediately with whoever?
I think we can, like tomorrow.
We'll get Peter and
It's that
Scott together.
together. Because they were at the table when it was discussed, so I don't think there's gonna be any real big discussion that has to happen.
It's just
not
I
in
think
the
it's just
agreement.
pretty much, is it not, Connie?
Yeah.
Okay, if you do that, I appreciate it, then we could call a special meeting and get it signed and bring the next just behind that. Power grant resolution, Chuck, you want to touch on that for us, please? Or Tommy?
Yeah.
Or whoever, Tom's here, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a grant it's a matching grant between the township and the fire department. We want to put in a security system at the fire department. It'll eliminate the use of the code that we punch in to get in. Everybody would get a card. And when we lose a fireman or gain a fireman, we don't have to worry about the combination number being out there with everybody. We haven't really had anything missing, but it could happen real easy. It would also have a temperature sensor on it, would tell us over our smartphones if the power goes out or if the heat goes out. We'll also be able to keep track of who's coming and going. It would give the card number of who went in and when, so we kind of can keep track of what's going on. And it would be upgradable to some other things like security system, like cameras or stuff like that.
This is the third time we've tried.
Yeah, this is number 3.
They originally told us that's what they were looking for. You remember that? So we applied for that and we were turned down each time.
Did Frank rewrite this?
Yes.
With the incident that we had here at all?
Yes, it's on the second page.
It's part of that paragraph. Here. Here's the paragraphs that changed.
Okay. If I can add my 2 cents, I know those guys work very hard to take care of their equipment. They've got some very expensive equipment in that building. And as you can tell by your upgraded ISO rating, it's the proper thing. And I would like to see this board support these people trying to obtain this money. It's not a motion, it's just my 2 cents. That's what it's worth.
I make a motion that we sign the resolution as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved, supported that we sign the resolution as presented. What that would mean is that it's a $3,120 matching contribution to the grant application. The total project is $8,120. Been moved, supported that we support this project in the form of a resolution. Is there any discussion? Call roll, please.
Taylor, yes. Bynum?
Yes.
Ms. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Berquist?
Yes.
If in fact we get this grant from Power Plant, we need to follow up and make sure our insurance rates are adjusted accordingly. I think
Yep.
that happens hand in hand with Jeanette.
Yeah, they're the ones that have turned it down this time, so.
Under new business, I see Mark is here from the road commission. Maybe you want to discuss the Olson Road project. I did ask Mark for a estimate to wedge and seal coat Olson Road. I don't know if any of the rest of you have been out there. I went out there with Dan Klaus and looked it over. He recommended that is what needed to be done because the shoulders were breaking off. It's one of many roads. John suggested Hill Road. We've had a suggestion of Millark Road. Millark Road is also in bad shape. But, we can't do them all at once. But if we make a contingency plan to keep up with these roads, then we don't have to try and repair them all at the same time. Mark, you have anything to say?
It's mainly, doing the entire loop from M55 over to Pine Creek Road, a little over a mile long. I've taken a look at it and done a lot of, detailed field work on it, preliminary quantity calculations, stuff like that. So it's the east-west portion is in worse condition, obviously. That's gonna need a lot of blacktop wedging, like where there's some poor pavement areas and then distorted, pavement areas. That's gonna be all blacktop wedged. Then we'll come back with a what they call a chip seal, which is putting the emulsion down and then the stone chips. And after that's applied, basically there's what they call a fog seal that's put on it. And it's pretty much a preservation, road preservation treatment. And it'll prevent it, it'll extend the service life so you don't have to grind it up and totally repave it. Sometime in the future we may get to that point because this is, especially the east-west portion is in pretty rough shape. That's why we've got to do a lot of blacktop wedging. And that is something that we would do with our own forces. We are doing some other projects in the county. I've submitted estimates to, different townships. I know Arcadia Township's going to do some. Winneckma Township will be doing some also. And so this will be, one project we can do in 2016 if the township wants us
to. Of course, I had no idea what it was going to cost.
Sure.
So I wanted the cost estimate so that the board could look at it and see just what we were talking. I don't know if we're in the condition to do that this year. You would know, you got the checkbook, but what time of the year would you do that?
It would be done this summer.
Would it be earlier? See, our fiscal year goes from
July 1st to June 30th.
July 1st to June 30th.
Okay.
So
So in other words, generally we can do chip seal work up until the end of August. Because it's typically something you don't want to be doing in the fall. There's actually, according to the MDOT specifications, generally you can start sometime in May. But the latest you want to be doing chip seal work would be late August.
Okay.
So.
Ian brought that up.
Yep.
I wanted to ask this question. If we have a contractor do anything for us, they usually supply us with some insurance, and if we get to the end of the road and there's some concerns about the workmanship that's been done, that puts it in place that we're taking care of. The last time that the road commission, that was before your time, but they did Olson Road and Pine Creek Road, it was terrible. All the rocks didn't stick. That's why we're not doing it today. And when approaching them, they said, well, we have no money and we can't do anything about it. And so we were left with the bill, but we got nothing for our
Oh,
money.
really?
And so I'm concerned that if that happens, what is the?
I mean, I'm sure that we would, if we ended up having an issue with either the emulsion or the stone or whatever, that's something that we would have to do on our dollar, you know, repair it. I mean, we're not gonna ask the township to participate and redo something that should have been done, you know, correctly the first time. You know, chip seal is a very sensitive treatment, okay? I mean, there's been some occasions where, say there was an issue with the emulsion, you know, from the emulsion provider, where the stone didn't adhere to it. I mean, that has, you know, happened, you know, at times, not only in Manistee County, it has happened in other counties. I'm sure it has happened for MDOT. But I mean, if we do a project for you, you know, and there becomes an issue, we would actually go out and redo it. You know, we actually, unfortunately, in 2013, we did a project on High Bridge Road where there was some type of an issue, and we came back in 2014 and we actually re-chip sealed it at our cost. So, you know, we're not going to expect the township to, you know, pay, because you're paying 70% of the initial cost for the project, and then if there's some type of issue, you know, with the stone or with the emulsion or something, you know, we're not going to expect you to come back and pay us again to redo something.
Well, we did
It would have to be on our cost.
We had a very severe issue with that. First it was the oil, then it was the chips themselves. Some of the chips were, I mean, it was, I believe it was an experimental project.
Mhm.
I don't know. You know,
All the chips ended up in the ditch.
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's, like I said, there's been issues with chip seal projects. I mean, it's a good, you know, it's a good preventative, or, you know, preventive maintenance, thing to do to roads, but I mean, I will tell you, I mean, it has happened. I mean, in most cases, it ends up being a good project, but I mean, there are some cases, in fact, I think you probably heard in the news up in Emmett County, they haven't done apparently chip seal in quite a few years, and they did quite a bit last year, and they had a lot of issues. So they're dealing with that
It just
right
so
now.
happens that this road was one of them that had the issues, and
Yeah.
so when people talk to you, it's like, please don't chip and seal it, I
Yeah.
already lost 2 windshields and, you know, windshield.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that was just an isolated incident, but I just been bringing it to
Sure.
your attention, because
Yeah,
we
no,
got
it's-
absolutely nothing for.
That road is, like I said, that's why we have to do so much blacktop wedging. Otherwise, you're gonna be going to the next option, which is probably to grind it up and repave about 250,000 a mile. I mean, this is only a preservation treatment, so it's gonna just extend the service life. You know, of course, if you grind it up and totally repave it, you're gonna get maybe 15 to 20 years out of it. But, you know, it's Olson Road, to be honest with you. I mean, I come from the world of engineering for many years, and it's, you know, it's pretty borderline. You don't wanna let it go any further, otherwise you are gonna totally lose it, so.
I think we've already lost the north end of Millark Road.
Yeah,
From 31 north to 31.
it's been kind of wedged and whatever, and I've been through there many times. We've had a lot of inquiries on it, and that, in my opinion, a good part of it needs to be ground up and repaved.
So what's next? Do we get a proposal that,
No,
a firm proposal?
pardon me?
Because I think we told the people on Olson Road that we were gonna do something.
We told them that we would investigate it, and that's what we're doing, and if it's possible to do it later in the year.
Later in this summer?
You're talking after July 1st?
Correct.
I mean,
That's probably when.
That's-
Because our road funds are committed for Millark
Sure.
Road right now,
Right.
yeah, I mean, that's,
for the south end of Millark Road,
sure.
the gravel portion between River Road and
4/10 of a
It's
mile.
Millark?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was River.
So,
You know, I think realistically, I mean, all with the other townships we've been doing work for, we're not gonna have a signed agreement until early June, okay? And then the first thing we'd wanna do is basically go out, if a number of them have like blacktop wedging, we'll do that first. And then we're gonna wanna try to do the chip seal work, you know, once we get started on it, we want to kind of do it for the various roads that, you know, we plan this year, because like I indicated in my letter, you basically, like for the emulsion, you have minimum tanker loads. In other words, because this comes from Alma, and basically, I think I had in there probably 9,000 gallons or whatever the case may be.
You have the letter in front of you, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like for the emulsion, it's typical minimum is 9,000 gallons per load. Like just for your projects, it's 5,100 gallons. So when you're doing chip seal work, we try to focus, especially you got to do it only during good weather. You can't do it when it's raining. And then we'll plan out our projects, and then you'll spend, whether it's a week or whatever the case may be, and you know you're going to use that tanker. And if you do it here for Olson Road, and then you're going to move to another project in the county to finish off the tanker. You know, just like the fog seal, when we come back and fog seal, you know, there's a minimum of 5,000 gallons per load, and this one here is 1,650 gallons. You know, and so, you know, we would strategize, and like I said, if you want to do this after, you know, July 1st, I don't think it's a big issue.
Okay.
You know, we'll just, like I said, on the other projects, kind of focus on blacktop wedging and stuff like that, so.
Okay. Any other questions for Mark?
Do we need to act on this now, or need it by June 1st?
Anything else? Anything else on the new business? If not, you've read the bills, had a chance to look at the bills. What are your wishes?
I'll make a motion to allow the bills paid as presented and placed on file.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and supported that the bills be approved, paid, placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Manistee County MTA is going to meet Wednesday, May 5th at Bear Lake United Methodist Church. That's their dinner meeting. The Bar Lake Improvement Board will meet here Monday, June 6th at 7 p.m. If there's an appeal, it will be Thursday, June 2nd at 7 p.m. here at the hall. Planning Commission is Thursday, June 2nd.
No.
We have votes in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the annual combined
That's the
meeting.
combined meeting.
The next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board is Thursday, June 9th at 7 p.m. Any other public comment? Yes, sir.
And you got a question. Now on this, on Olson Road, can you act on it at your June meeting or not? I know your next fiscal year is July 1st. You just don't want to get in a situation where you're pushing into August.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
So I guess just, I mean, because it can be contingent upon not doing it until your next fiscal year.
With the
It's
stipulation.
entirely up to you, right? I mean, that's not an issue.
Let me put it this way, we'll try and have it resolved by then.
Sure.
It's best thing to do at this point, because we have to, you know, we have to study our budget and see what we have.
Okay.
Anyone else? Not a motion's in order.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Any more supported, we adjourn?